Hello everyone, it's been a while here. A lot of stuff going on in my life here. Stuff happened to Jesse right now, and he's going through some rough times. But on a good note, we will be I'm going to try to get out ghost hunting very soon. It's actually warming up a little bit, so by this Friday I'm hoping it's not too muddy or something. We might actually even do something. Tonight we're going to talk about Ouija boards. What's the appropriate age limit for somebody to actually play it? You know, I seen something the other day. It was a Facebook post, and I was like, that's a good thing to talk about. We're going to do app reviews. I got a few apps that I want to take out on the field this year that I think that might benefit us. I like testing these suckers out because like I said, I never was really big on phones and tablets and that for ghost hunting, but they obviously are proving to be worthwhile. What else? We're going to talk about this guy that thinks he's the Grim Reaper in the middle of like cemeteries and stuff, and he's making national news. It was a few years ago, but I'm pretty sure that this guy continues to do that. I looked at it briefly before I would upload it it's like a little clip of news reels of this guy doing this stuff, and yeah. We're going to talk about like mental illness alongside this as well. I think that guy might have some mental issues, and then everything's getting kind of crazy with him. I haven't seen anything new recently, but this was a few years ago, about a year and a half ago. Alright. Anything else that comes up, it will become this whatever. I'll rant. So let's get into the Ouija board stuff. Now, it can be real, not real to you, or you have a belief in this or not. When is it appropriate you feel that having somebody, because there's an actual age limit that's set on the box. I do believe it's 8. In this particular, let me find it real quick. I'll show you the post, the actual post that I seen that made me wanna talk about this. Let's switch over. Yeah, that's it. The recommended age to have a Ouija board is 8 years old, so you need to be 21 to drink alcohol, to summon the devil, blah blah blah. We're not going to get into that part of it because I don't want a religious debate about it, so we're going to stay away from that, clearly, that part of it. Now, switch back over. Now, when we, mess around with spirits, a lot of people would say, don't do it at all. To me, as a parent, I would say that I would have to supervise over it, and even so, it really depends on your level of mentality. And when it comes to a child doing this, it really does come down to do you feel that, is your child going to have a mental breakdown and think, monsters are going to be under their bed, and I'd say no. I mean, a game, if it's a game, it's a game. But then again, these kids, they're not dumb. They're gonna figure out that, like, what is the point of this? I would feel that even myself, my daughter is very self-aware of spiritual entanglements, and not to mess around with things like that. And it's not necessarily about like faith or anything like that. She just knows that not to touch it, and she won't touch it because she knows that there is a spiritual attachment with doing that. But the thing is play at your own risk kind of thing. I feel that there might be another warning to this. Obviously, to me, using the Ouija board isn't necessarily evil. But the stuff that I've been into, and like the people that they were around me, throughout my life, these particular people lost their mind, and not necessarily on the board itself, but I'm talking about just the thought of something gonna out to get you. Fear is a very powerful thing over the human mind. But I'd feel no. It's a hard subject to actually put into words, I think, for me anyways. I feel that somebody that is not aware of the spiritual realm, like a Joe Smo that goes and gets their kid a Ouija board from the store and just gives the kid it and not explain anything about it, or the positives and negatives to spirit communication, because there is other ways to do that. Myself, I meditate a lot, and I have my own personal gifts with spirits. For somebody that's not aware of that, or they're kind of a little bit, oh, this is fun, I'll give them this board as a present. But I'd say no, don't do something like that. That's not very smart. Like it or not, it can be just a board, to most people. But if you have the right tools and the right mentality, you can focus your energy to bring forth something into your life. And may it be a spirit or just plain old negativity that your own mind has made up, causing a demon-like mentality that something's out to get you. So I think I'm not really going to go too much more into it. There's so much about it. I've talked about the Ouija board before. I've done experiments with it on camera and that, and thermal imagers, and I'm using the Tesla Spooky radio on it, and it's, to me, it's real to the person that's using it, definitely. And I would say no age requirement, 8 years old. I'd say unless they have their own perception on spirituality, and if they're strong-willed and not weak-minded, I'd say go right ahead. But if they're not, no. It's fine, teenagers are going to experiment with things, once they're up in that age. But 8 years old, you're looking for some kind of trouble with that. If the parent or somebody doesn't have connections to getting rid of negativity like that, I would say don't even bother with it. Alright, I have 2 apps here. It's off the iPhone. I have different types of phones and tablets for ghost hunting. I mainly use our iPhone, the iPhone for the video, the main video now, because it's very easy to carry a phone around than all this other equipment. The iPhone actually, has adaptions to thermal imager, which I'm still trying to save up for money for that. I think that would be kind of cool to shoot a whole show in thermal. Because the one that we have now doesn't shoot video, so it would be better for us to just strictly use an iPhone almost the whole entire time. Sucker has its built-in stabilizer. I just like how it actually can shoot video more better than half of my equipment that we have. And I kind of gave up on buying all this other equipment. It's just an endless thing that we really don't need to be doing. The phones and tablets and that are getting up there and are more technical advanced than most of our equipment. And most of these suckers have everything that you need, temperature reading, thermal imager. I use the Android tablet for like ghost radar apps and that. I kind of separate a lot of the cameras, a lot of the phones and tablets for specific purposes. I'll turn off the internet and that, silent mode on my main phone. We use Windows operating systems for noise analyzation, and that's right. I've just seen something really cool for the iPhone just recently. It's a device that hooks to the back here and into the port, and you can hook it up. It's a bat radar. You can actually hear the frequencies, and it will target what kind of bats are in the area. I was actually thinking about changing that over to ghosts, but I don't know how much it is. What was it called? Maybe I'll look it up and I'll just show you up on the screen what it is. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'll do that. Radar, maybe. Actually, there's a few of them, but the one that I'm looking for, dang it, where'd it go? If I find it some other time, I will definitely pull it up. But the ones I do have on here are just like classic EMF detectors. And there's one in the Pacific that I really enjoyed looking over yesterday. I was looking at it. It's called IEMF. And you can zero it out right down to zero. It's in gauze. Let's see here. Blow up the screen here. And it actually, I'll zero it out. We can't. It should be 0. Now this is my vaporizer. I'll show you how sensitive this sucker is. And you can amplify the signal there. It's just kind of hard to do. I think this is like one of the most accurate that I've seen on a phone. It actually tells you exactly where the radar should have been on the side. Yeah, well, anyway, I really enjoyed this one. It doesn't have the recording abilities and stuff like that I normally look for in an app, because when I switched over to iPhone, we used Entity Sensor a lot for the tab, for the, when I had Android phone, Samsung. And yeah, that's this one. This one, I'm not really too sure. This is another app. It's just called EMF. It has a spectrograph on the bottom there that shows the level of EMF. But, that needle, I kind of like the digital display more of, more of an accurate thing. But to me, using EMF isn't really that important to me. Yes, you can document, I normally use it for like private homes and cases like that, and because like using it outside, it really, we used it outside before, but it's not really. Why isn't this not changing? Dang it. But yeah, we used to use it a lot outside, and it was hard because every time the wind blew or something, it would actually fluctuate. There's a lot of times that I was very hesitant, but there were some times that I like to use several different types of EMF detectors, and using so much, buying all this stuff can be like confusing, and all kinds of stuff. Now the tablet, I've been using the Echovox, and let's see if we can find all my stuff. We mostly use Echovox and white noise generators for just sitting it and a digital recorder down and having it record with the white noise or whatever playing in the background along with it. I feel that it actually works that way, generates more EVPs that way. I don't know why, but it certainly does. My theory behind it is that they just manipulate the sound, the energy off the sound itself, using that. It reminds me, do you believe in music? Music can do weird things to, the human mind. I'm a big fan of sound waves and that, and, using music in that, you've probably seen ghost hunters use music to stimulate ghosts and that. I feel that it really is the energy that behind the music that makes a spirit become more influential, interactive with you, or energy being raised in the room. If you're sad, you personally, you'll play a song that's more upbeat, and it changes your complete attitude in life. A lot of people like sad music. It brings them down. I don't know why. I actually used to be one of those people back in the day. I like to listen to depressing type things, and I just don't know why. Anyway, that I feel that a lot of energy can be produced off the sound waves, and versus just using white noise and little fun gadgets like that. So far on the Echovox, we've used it many times already. I know our initial report on it wasn't. People are like really complaining about, why you can't just turn it on and expect things to come out of it, blah blah blah. And look, especially when something gives me a freaking headache like the Echovox does, yeah, I'll give it a second chance here, but so far, yes, it's starting to prove to be okay device to use. That's about it with the apps and that. Let's get into this guy. Actually, no, we won't get into the guy. We'll just go over some photos of pretty much over the years and see how we looked over the years and the places that we went to, and I'll explain it. I'll go pretty fast through it. I'm gonna try to get this Green Reaper guy in here. Let's pull this up. Most of them you've seen before. Yeah, this is way back in 2000. Let's change this. Yeah, this is way back in 2012. This is the Ramada, by the way. This was our favorite place to go to because we can do a lot of our experiments here. That picture's not very well taken. When we first started, when we first started actually doing shows with our stuff, our cameras wasn't up to par, really. I'm just glad that over time I changed my view on using phones and that. But the iPhone, there's this I got a full video attachment kit for taking professional video with the iPhone. This is the iPhone 6 Plus. I got it specifically for the 4K, but obviously we're not up. We're gonna be filming in that. Most people don't even have 720 HD yet. Yeah. So when we went to one of the Masonic lodges that let us in, we were doing experiments with spiritual energy. Do specific spirits like to hang around specific energies, and I've talked about that in a different rant before too. Like spirits hanging out with certain people, or what kind of spirits like to hang around, temples or like spiritual nature. This is a place in Sheboygan. They called us in because there was all kinds of crazy stuff being moved around. We started filming. Jeez, what's going on with him? That's before Nicole cut her hair. Yeah, Baraboo Inn. Pretty cool place. That place, we still haven't gotten full permission to make a show out of it yet, but definitely I picked up on a few spirits here. I think that's J Road, one of the many times of being there. This is a place in Burlington. This hallway, something weird about this hallway. There's tail. That burger was awesome though. That sucker's huge. That's when I really didn't have any hair. Becky. Those aliens are pretty freaking cool. This is a sci-fi cafe in Burlington. I don't think it's open anymore, but it is a really awesome place. Then we went out to the Haunted Woods. We've done three times out here. Every time it was freaky. We did shamanistic healing and stuff like that out here. A lot of energy body work out here. It's pretty neat. There's actually tours of this place, like yearly. The basement. Shoot, that's when I smoked cigarettes. Ugh, not good. I almost forgot. Yeah, we were promoting our team out in Wally Weekend. That was kind of fun. That would be Witch Road. Paradise Road. I got much cooler swords now than then. Devil's Lake. I don't know if we're thinking about going out here again. Out on the lake with ultrasounds. Try to take pictures of the bottom of the lake here for the sea monster thing. I might be freaked out of my mind, but we're gonna do that. Some more Baraboo. I think she lost. More of the Ramada. Christian Inn, and that place is kind of cool. Why do we look all mad and stuff? Look at that. What? We all had the same, like... That's weird. I never looked at that before. Why do we look so pissed off? Whatever. Must be the atmosphere down there. That was a private case that we did. This place was awesome. Sorry, I'm kind of flying through this. That's it. Kind of wanted to get into this other thing with the Grim Reaper guy. Let's watch this, and there's something about it that this guy's just full of shit. And I can't believe that people are actually paying attention to this person, because I've known so many people like this. I can tell you right now that they like the attention, obviously, but they have no concept that you're there. They don't care that you're there. Now let's get into this. I'm gonna turn the mic off, by the way.
Creepy, bizarre. His presence literally stops people in their tracks. That mysterious man, some dubbed the Grim Reaper, draped in black, returned to the same Albuquerque cemetery tonight. This time, we talked to him. News 13's Cole Miller is in the Newspex with a chilling interview.
Well, Crystal, he calls himself the Light Wanderer, traveling to that southwest Albuquerque cemetery to pray for the dead. He says he's also there to spread a message. Go ahead and take a listen.
The weight of time weighs heavy on our souls.
In a deep and somewhat dark voice, this cloaked figure, some call the Grim Reaper, back at an Albuquerque cemetery. Again, waving his arms, some had thought could be some sort of ritual, but he says it's not.
There is a place where sleepers sleep and dreamers dream and patiently await.
He tells us he's out here to pray. That prayer has people pulling off the interstate to get a close.
You know what that's off of, right? That's actually off of a TV show. That's off a TV show. What, you don't think people pick that out? Especially because I was a big fan of Buffy the Vampire Hunter. It's where it's from. Guarantee it. Let's play the rest of it. I think there's more.
Closer look.
Maybe just not scaring people like this and causing attention. There's cars all over and it's just causing chaos.
The Light Wanderer, as he calls himself, says people shouldn't fear him.
There's nothing to be afraid of except those that seek to cause harm, pain, destruction.
He warns of terrorism on the horizon and in the United States. The man, who would only describe himself as a young Christian, says he was moved to be at the cemetery.
It just seemed to be a calling, something, an inner voice, so to say.
Then, our photographer asking this question.
Can we see your face?
The message isn't about me.
His presence causing a stir on social media. News 13 first reporting on him last month before a supermoon. And again, his visit tonight comes just days before another supermoon. He says that's not why he's here.
The message reaches one person. That one person makes a difference in preventing the death and destruction. Then it was worth it.
Now, what about that outfit? The hooded man says.
No, I'm not necessarily making fun of him, but that's directly quoted right off of Buffy. I guarantee it. I was actually a vampire lord. Actually, was talking to somebody in the show, and that's a quote from that. Now, why does this make news? I mean, I personally know people that do weirder things than that, but You know, I just don't understand why people would, you know, he's not doing anything. He's just a dude in the cemetery. Why would this even make, why am I even freaking talking about it? Obviously they looked like they were concerned back then about it. It looks like they were trying to dig into some kind of, you know, reason why he was out there. I'd have to say he's troubled in the head. I would have to say that. Somebody that watches too much TV. And that this shouldn't have even made news, and people shouldn't have fucking stopped and paid attention to this guy. I think there's more videos. Let's see if we can find any.
Calling the Grim Reaper, the Angel of Death, Darth Vader, the figure cloaked in a dark robe, drew lots of attention at a local cemetery, enough to stop traffic and start an online frenzy. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhardt is live at the old cemetery near Gibson and I-25. Gabby?
Matt, drivers called it a creepy scene. A figure cloaked in all black standing at this cemetery Sunday stopped traffic on the highway. And so who was he? The eve of the supermoon, eyes of passerbys were drawn to a dark figure looming over the San Jose del Rosario Cemetery on Gibson by I-25.
Everybody was freaked out. Everybody wanted to know what it was.
Michelle Gonzalez thought a crash caused the backup. But when she got out of her car, she snapped this photo.
There was a fucking backup? Are you fucking serious? Now, I could see if he had like a statue of Santa Monterey out here and actually doing something occult-like. This is nothing. This people, you can get that at a costume store. You know?
He was gonna try and walk up and see what it was, and some guy stopped me and he told me that it probably wasn't the best of thing to go up there, and because you never know.
The tall figure cloaked in black was holding a bouquet of flowers. More pictures from that night popped up on the Inhabitants of Burkay Facebook page. The image has spread quickly and hundreds of people are commenting.
But I just want to know why or what he was doing.
One Facebooker says the person did more than raise some eyebrows but caused a panic. Some are cracking jokes like, "I want Darth Vader at my funeral."
One guy said maybe it's seriously the Angel of Death. Just people were saying some weird stuff, but I mean, if you would have seen it, you would have, what the heck is that too?
Gonzalez says drivers stopped along the on-ramp. Some even stopped on the interstate to get a closer look.
It caused a lot of attention. It could have caused an accident. Somebody could have gotten hurt.
Witnesses say Albuquerque firefighters and police officers responded, but APD has not confirmed they were there. So what he was doing and why
This has to be the weirdest thing I've seen.
may only be known to the person underneath the cloak. Now, a similar person dressed in the
Mental illness, people. That's really what it is. You know, like that guy wouldn't have no clue on if an actual cult came up to him and did something. The guy was probably just, I mean, I guess there is some kind of connection with it, but it's more or less, you know, in his mind, he probably thought that that's the only way he can give thanks to the spirits. But then again, I think it was just an attention thing. You know, it's right next to the freaking highway. Most people don't do things publicly like that if it was anything to worry about. We have a few more things here real quick. I just remember that I actually have some other things pulled up here on the page. Now, the specific article, I don't like the term debunked or confirmed, because in the paranormal field, I feel that it's neither. You know, you can't prove or debunk certain. I mean, the word debunk, you know, I would have to say faked. I would have to say that, you know, it really depends on the paranormal team or the whoever is using that word, debunked. Now let's get into a little bit of, we'll just read this here. Now this is from somebody randomly on the internet, I think, just started their views on the paranormal. They're pretty much saying that it's true that you get tapped on the shoulder, but, you know, it could be all kinds of possibilities to your house being haunted. You know, I don't even want to talk about this subject right now. I really don't. This is a completely different rant. A different rant on a different show. Me personally, I have to go. Every place is different. Every place is different, and you can't prove or disapprove that they exist there. That's what I was trying to say. You can't prove or disapprove that something tapped you on the shoulder, and then, you know, 100%ly say it's true. No. This I kind of believe. This part of it, I would have to agree with it. Do people actually have to die in your home to be being haunted? No. No. Like I said many times before, I think spirits are all over, and they just like certain energies in your home, or your energy in general, like to stay around you. So no, I don't feel that somebody has to die on your property or have a heart attack or something tragic in front of your house for it to, you know, to make the place haunted. I mean, it's all kinds of possibilities. You know, you could brought something home that's haunted. You know, something just caught my eye on the side here. What? Do I dare touch that subject? I know what they're going with that. I really do. Succubus. I know that that's what they're going for. You know that. I don't want to touch this subject just because it's a religion or a religious person talking about it, because then we're gonna get into like all kinds of biblical kind of talk, and I don't really want to talk about that either. But I can guarantee that the main idea with this right here, is the energy with doing this, the act, bringing something into that person's life. I know that for a fact that that's what they're trying to get at. Whatever. Me personally, it's healthy. And that's all I'm going to talk about with that. Maybe I'll have a different show, maybe with Jesse, see how he feels about talking about that in a different rant. Back to this. Huh. Must be some haunted houses or whatever. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I kind of just started getting all over the place after the Reaper thing here, but maybe down the road we'll get into some of these other topics in more of a detailed manner. I don't want to make this too freaking long. Leave comments below about the Ouija board and that. Do you feel that there should be the age limit on it be higher? Or just people be more aware of the Ouija board, that it may not be necessarily spiritual in nature, or a spirit being being summoned with it. The app review, I don't know if you liked any of those. I mean, you want specific ones that we want us to look into, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. But I don't go off of a lot of them, because I think some of them are fraud type devices, and that's my opinion on that. Like I said, we're probably maybe going. It's the weather's getting better. We're probably gonna be going out to places very, very soon. See, Jesse's going through some rough times right now, and we'll see how things go. We'll try to get Nicole to come along on some places with us. Andy, I'm gonna try to get everyone at once. You notice this last year was only like 2 of us at a time, which is okay. It's understandable. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in our lives, and me personally, I'm going through a lot of spiritual. I'm probably going to go onto a spiritual retreat pretty soon here myself, so I probably won't be doing any shows for a while if I do decide to do that. I have my interviews and stuff for my Reiki practice that I'm doing, and hopefully I get moving more with that, and I get away from the traveling a lot stuff. My travels will turn into something more of a spiritual nature, and I'm going to try to record some stuff. Like I said, I have a fascination with ley lines lately, so we're going to be targeting that this year. Aslan's actually one of the biggest ones that I've actually found, and we're going to do experiments with that. And like I said, we're going to have we're probably going to target a lot to do with Aslan, all different types of experiments that I want to do out there. Alright, thanks for watching, and I know this was long. It makes up for the 2 weeks that I missed so far. I promise we will get some kind of show going out, instead of me talking all the time. And Jesse, later everyone.